The following video has been rated politically incorrect by the Motion Picture Association of America. It is intended for patriotic audiences.
Today we had a ray of sanity come out of Washington. That's very unusual. We had a representative from Alabama, Mo Brooks, who filed a bill that would repeal Obamacare in one sentence. How about that? It doesn't take nearly 2,000 pages like this bill that Paul Ryan put up. Paul Ryan never wanted to repeal this. And if you've got a bill that is thousands of pages long, that you hold away from people, don't let them see this, change it up to the very last minute and tell people take it or leave it, here's this bill, that's not going to fly. It shouldn't have flown. And we shouldn't get angry about the fact that it failed. We should be happy about the fact that it failed. I'm very disappointed that Trump is casting blame at people. It's very easy to fix this. Let me explain to you how this would work. One sentence, effective December 31st, 2017, the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, he didn't even put affordable in quotes, is repealed, and the provisions of the law amended or repealed by such act are restored or revived if such act had not been enacted. And he points out when he says this, he says if the American people want to repeal Obamacare, this is their last best chance during this Congress. Why? Because if Congress doesn't deliver yet again on repealing Obamacare, people are not going to re-elect them. We're going to do something different. He says if they're sincere about repealing Obamacare, they can prove it by signing the discharge petition. At a minimum, he said, this discharge petition, repealing Obamacare in one sentence, will, like the sun burning away the fog, show American voters who really wants to appeal Obamacare and who merely wants to act that way when it's election time. See, that's what we've seen. And let me explain to you this whole thing about Phase 2 and Phase 3. Phase 2 relied on dictates from the Health and Human Services Secretary. We don't want a health czar left in place. We don't want this whole mechanism of mandates, dictates coming out of Washington, taxes, taxing us, forcing us to buy services from private corporations. All that was left in there. And they said they're going to just rearrange these deck chairs on the Titanic and own it. And then they're angry because this didn't pass? Give me a break. Now you're going to go to the Democrats? That's asinine. Phase 2 showed what was wrong with Obamacare. You can't use a health czar to fix it, because what that'll do is fix it in place, and then the next health czar will undo everything else. And we will still be living like slaves, like serfs, under this dictatorial mandate from Washington. Also, Phase 3, when they talk about things like getting rid of the restrictions on competition across state lines, we need a government that will apply the protections of the Commerce Clause in the Constitution to prevent that. We had a Commerce Clause that was supposed to stop protectionism and anything other than fraud inhibiting interstate commerce. Instead, they use it unconstitutionally to create things like drug prohibition. Of course, the Commerce Clause was there when they had alcohol prohibition. They knew that that did not give them the power to do alcohol prohibition, so we got two amendments, 18 and 21st. Then they said, we're not going to pay attention to the Constitution anymore. We're just going to go out and say we got a Commerce Clause. So that's the problem. And now we see that when we ignore the Constitution, we get things like saying you can't buy insurance from another state. If that company is in another state, we're going to shut down competition within America. The same people who say, we've got to open up the borders to trade, they close down the borders to trade for health insurance because this was done for the benefit of a few well-connected corporations, and that's why it's not getting undone. For Infowars.com, I'm David Knight.